So guys, yeah, I'll be continuing the story I started sharing with you guys in a previous video. Yeah, so if you've actually not seen the video I'm referring to, I'll suggest you take a pause. All right, take a pause and go and watch that video. I'll leave the link here. Also check the description box. Just watch that video, then you can come back later and continue so that you can actually flow along in this storytelling. I'm still sharing my academic success story, basically just to inspire and to encourage someone out there in case you are thinking of giving up. I want to share my failures with you because you might already know my success story already. Yes. So I'm just sharing what it has been like. So I think in the previous video, I stopped where I kept writing different JAMB examinations just to enter the university, and I kept failing for so many times. And at a point, I was like, maybe university education is not actually for me. Honestly, yeah, I gave it a thought because I never imagined that I would stay that long before I could enter the university. And I know that's the experience of so many people in Nigeria. Sometimes getting admission into the university can be so frustrating. And at the end of the day, people just end up going for just any course, and then they gave me, and they are so discouraged and all. So that's actually it. So I wanted to share the story of how I got admission into the University of Ibadan, but I'm going to spare you guys those details. It's a lot of story, and you know me, I like telling story. So I just want to go straight to the point and not tell you guys the journey. But there's something about my admission into the University of Ibadan. Okay, so when I entered the University of Ibadan, I actually studied social work at the University of Ibadan, but it's under the distance learning center. So yeah, I wasn't what they call regular student, because sometimes there's a dispute between that. If they are regular, we irregular, but more like distance learning education. That is what I did. Yes, so I didn't study as a regular student. Okay, so all I needed just okay, I wrote JAMB already, I've passed. I just wrote an entrance examination for that, and I passed the entrance examination, and I was given admission to study social work, which is what I applied. Okay, my godfather, who is here in the UK, actually advised me to go for social work, telling me that it sells well here, so I should go and study social work, and that was it. But meanwhile, I reluctantly applied for this particular to study because I didn't like the idea of social work. What is social work? I mean, I didn't know anything about social work, and you know now, as many people can relate, like can relate with that we don't know what social work is all about. So, which one is social work? I've always wanted to study medicine, by the way. Yes. So when it didn't work, social work, I just reluctantly, out of obedience and maybe plan B, I did, but I was still waiting for admission to enter, like to go and study medicine or whatever medical related course. That's just my plan. So out of that reluctance, I applied, but then eventually the other one didn't work out. So when plan A doesn't work, you go to plan B. So that's how I found myself studying social work at the University of Ibadan under the Distance Learning Center. Yes. Okay, Open and Distance Learning Education, ODL, DLC, Distance Learning Center. That's actually how I went. Now, another battle began. All right. So the battle began because the devil came to me again as he just, I don't know, devil. Of course, you know how they say that when there are so many potentials in you, devil will pick special interest in you. So I'm not surprised why he picked so much interest in me. I never knew that embedded in me is first class and distinction. And then the devil came for me. So that is actually what happened. And I was just under the distance learning education. And then the journey started. The devil came to me again and started his normal way, feeling my thoughts, like talking to me through my thoughts and suggesting things to me. Now, it happened that, first of all, I didn't like social work to start with. And then the fact that it was under the distance learning education. So in case you don't know about distance education, okay, maybe one way you can know it if you're in Nigerian is Open University, how they study. It's not really part-time. It's just that you don't have lectures all the time. Now, this actually ideally is for people that work. They are the people that is best for. But then, even if you go now, it's actually young people that is there now because of the frustration of gaining admission into the university, because universities cannot take everybody. But being a distance learning education platform, the university can admit so many people because most times you teach yourself, you learn on your own, come for lectures once in a blue moon, and then come and show up and write your exam. Lectures are not compulsory to attend and all. So when I did that, devil now came in, and when he came with inferiority complex, he came with self-condemnation, he came with low self-esteem, and that was what I was battling with. Guys, it was so serious because first of all, as the thing just happened is that social work, like 90 to 95% of, sure, 98% of University of Ibadan students, they've never heard about social work in UI. They don't know that there is a department called social work in UI. So that was even a major challenge for me. When I came, I was very active in my fellowship. And you know, when you come to the fellowship, first time they meet you or first time you meet anybody, oh wow, what department are you in? I'll say I'm in social work department. Social work in UI? Have not heard of that. Are you sure it's a department in UI and all? I keep getting this. Every time someone asks me what's my department, I say I'm in social work. Social work in UI? Hey, I've not heard of that. Is it a new department? No, it's not a new department. I didn't know. And the reason is that social work in University of Ibadan is not under the regular program. Okay, yeah, it's under this distance learning education. So the regular students don't know about it. Yeah, so that became a challenge. I wasn't proud of my course because at that point, mind you, I was trying to hide the fact that I am a distance learning student. I'm a DLC student. I used to be so ashamed of it. Like, I'm not regular. You know, they call them regular students. We are not irregular. You know, sometimes there are some debates around calling regular and irregular. We are just distance learning students. They are just the students in the conventional way and all of that. So it was a battle. Then devil came in because we don't have lectures every day. But me, I don't have a job. I'm open. I want to study. Okay, so I consider myself a full-time student. I went to Ibadan. I rented an apartment and I stayed there. The only thing is that library was my lecture room. So that's why many people that know me back in the University of Ibadan, I'm always in the library. I'm always in the library. They know me with the library. But I go to the library because I don't have lectures every day. And I don't have any job. I'm here to study. Don't expect me to be sitting at home every day doing nothing. And I need to study because we teach ourselves. We only have lectures once in a while. And when we come, the lecturer just asks you questions. It's just like a summary. If you have questions from your reading, then ask questions. And that is it. Okay, then we show up for exam. So because of that, I have to make use of it and teach myself because I don't just want to pass through the university or pass through this course. I want to know what I'm studying. So I was reading a lot of times my materials. I go through all my materials from page 1 to the end. I always do, and when I read, I always make notes. That's me. So I'm always in the library and all. So what I do most times was I don't read at home. That's my weakness. Even up till now, I can't read at home. Okay, I'll never be serious at home when I choose to read at home. So I wake up in the morning to go to the library. Now, devil will come. Immediately I enter, you know that UI gate. Immediately I step into University of Ibadan gate, I will hear a voice condemning me, telling me just look around. Everybody you are seeing here, they are regular students. You, what do you call yourself? I'll be like, hey, I'll start looking around at that gate where those people, I don't know if it's still the same, but then people will stay there selling recharge card. If you walk further, you see the cabs and all of that. Then I'll just be like, I'll start looking around as if everybody is watching me. The condemnation will be so real and so consistent, condemning me like that I don't belong here, that see, I am a second class student. Look at the real students. They are rushing to lecture. You are just, that condemnation will just fill my head like this that I'll almost as if I want to go crazy. I'll just stand at the spot. I'll look around. Then if I feel nobody is looking at me, I'll turn around. I will go home. And once I get home, I jump on my bed and I start crying. Guys, this was my experience. The condemnation, it was so much for me to bear. Thank God I didn't go crazy. In fellowship, I wasn't so free because of that regular question. Most times after say, I avoid it. Don't come and be asking me questions. And so many things and all. But then God started his work by my fellowship capturing me and making me the assistant freshers coordinator, the 100 level student. That one again was another thing. Hey, all the people I am coordinating, they are all regular students. My popsy, who is the main person, then I'm assisting him. He's a regular student, law student for that matter. And I am just one social work student like that and DLC and all. I felt so inferior to them. Like I envy them. Even if you are studying wiring and fencing, but you are a regular student, I envy them. Honestly, it was so much for me. Most times in their life, I don't really like conversing with people. They'll be talking about sometimes announcement, they'll be talking about this lecture, they'll be saying some things. I don't even understand all those terminologies. Everything they are saying is just entering this year, going, everything. CBN, all of them will say CBN. I don't know CBN. I don't know where CBN. Are you not doing GS 101? Yes, I'm doing GS 101. Probably GS, they have it at all of. I don't know where it is because because I was hiding it really. I don't tell people I'm a DLC student. If you just tell me that you don't know social work, I say really, it's in faculty of education. Maybe you've not gone around the university. I say, hey, this is the first time I'm hearing it too. So at the point, the thing was really affecting me. I was feeling inferior. But one of the ways I said that God started helping me, like I said, is making me, the fellowship just tied me down with that position. And with that position, my successor then, one day I had to open up to her. I told her this is my experience, this is what I'm facing. I feel inferior. I'm not worthy of this position you people gave me. I always feel odd. I just want to come to fellowship and go and do. She started encouraging me. And as a matter of fact, she now started follow up on me. She said, you know what? I'll call you every day favor. Make sure that you are in the library. What do you mean you go back and do? Another person that God used for me is one fellowship. As at then, he was the general secretary of the fellowship. Yes. Shout out to you, by the way. So my successor then, I'm not sure if she'll watch this video, but if you know her, Sister Tosin Ola, she's married now, so she's no longer BS Ola. So she was one that encouraged me. And then this general secretary then, okay, was Dr. Okoya. Shout out to you, Moti. Yeah, shout out to you. Yeah, he was the one that, so his own follow-up was so detailed. He will always call me. He will always check on me. He will, at the fellowship, after fellowship, he will, he was so, I just felt that was actually the thing about what I loved about the fact that I joined the fellowship. I was feeling that these people will just look down on me, but no, the love of God was just there. Everybody welcomed me, even when at point I now started feeling free to tell people. I don't tell people I'm a DLC student because it's not something I am proud of. So inferiority, when I'm talking with people, I'll just be like this, as if I am worthless. Hey, I won't go to the library. I won't be able to read. Every day I'm crying. I can't even enter the university. I only entered the university to go for fellowship. If not for that position I was given, I won't even be going to fellowship. I'll just be there. Like, that self-condemnation was so much. And then the journey continued. Then I wrote because then we don't usually do, it was later on they introduced first semester, second semester in DLC UI. We used to write our exam once for the session. We wrote the first session exam. Guys, that was I wrote my first exam in University of Ibadan. I read, like I told you people, I've been going to the library and all. Then I read. After reading, I entered the exam hall. And guys, I could remember everything I read. I did so well because then our exams used to be CBT based, and then the result will come out the next morning and all. My results were coming out and I was having A's in all of them. A's in all of them. Not just 70, I was having 80 something. There was even one course that nobody had, economics. I was the only one that had A in it, and like, people didn't believe. One day, I saw my results. I have a very close friend then, Blessing. I told Blessing, look at my results. She didn't understand me. I was crying. I had to explain to her that before, do you know that I entered the exam hall, I go blank. But look at me now. I'm actually doing this and that, and my determination there has always been, which is one thing that has actually helped me. One of my tips to academic success is determination. When I entered the university, but I said I'm going to graduate with first class. Even with all these predicaments I have been facing, I said I'm going to finish with first class. Later on, I've told you people in one video that I have one greediness, academic greediness. I'm very greedy when it comes to academics. So when I heard that somebody can graduate with perfect CGPA, I said I will graduate with perfect CGPA. My ojukokoro, my own greediness, anyuku is so much. It was so much. So that was what I said I will get. I will have perfect CGPA in my 100 level. By God's grace, to the glory of God, I made 7 points. When UI was still using 7 points, I made 5 points for, as it is now, and other universities lined up for my first year, all my courses. Hey, is this me? Wow. And mind you guys, did I tell you guys that while I was in that first year, because I wasn't comfortable with that, I registered for JAMB. Yes, so my dad refused to give me money because he said, you are in this university, this course is good. Doctor said this course is good. What are you doing again? Because my dad had asked me if I want to write JAMB. I said, no, I think I like the course because I now took time to research about social work and I loved it. But then this inferiority complex and this regular thing, I wanted to be a regular student by fire by force. Me and my friend then, we bought JAMB. So I was reading, and my JAMB is English physics, chemistry, and biology. I was a science student. Then I put in for physiotherapy. So I'll be going to the library. I'll be reading my physics and all. Social work has nothing to do with all of that. So I was just trying to balance up everything at the end of the day. I wrote my jam and I passed. I had 200 and something. Then I even used my dad refused to give me money because he asked me before if I wanted to. I said no. Later I changed my mind because of all this inferiority complex. I bought the post UTME, did everything. Then that year, was it 2013 or 2014? That strike, that was 6 months strike, happened. I've already finished my first year exams except my GES. That was the only thing remaining. Then I traveled to the east. I was there and all of that, just living life, getting fat, and all of that, being at home now for 1 month, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went for one program. Before then, you had just sent me letter of invitation for post UTME. But by then, my result has been released and I saw that I'm on first class, this social work. I said, now, wow, so I should still do this thing. I was contemplating, should I move? Should I go? Should I not? One of my sisters advised me that I should go. She's not in that social work is good, but she doesn't like the idea of distance learning. That I should please go. And you know one of the reasons I don't like distance learning education? I've always dreamed of going for NYSC. Let me talk about it now. But in DLC, we don't go for NYSC. When I heard that one, I said that short. It's not for me. I'm going. How can't me? I want to be a copper. I want to wear that uniform. That's the reason I said I don't want DLC. That's actually one of the reasons. She advised me to go, but that's not her reason. But she advised me to go and write this thing. I'll spare you people the details, but I was in a program that day. God reminded me of a vision I got the day I was baptized in the Spirit and convinced me that social work is actually what He wants me to study. And that's how I just said, I'm not going for that exam. I'm not going for my post-UTME in UI. Social work will die here. I just ignored that. I came back after the strike, continued with my program, and I kept marching on. How did this breakthrough happen? God just miraculously. I can't tell you at what point it happened, but I think I can actually link it to when I saw my results. When I see everything, and there's what kind of person I am. I can be rugged though. I am strong-willed. I can be stubborn, but I don't know why devil will always pinch all these things in me and just make me believe in. So when I saw that result and all, something like it was God that put that idea in me. Do you know that it was a statement that kept me going throughout my journey? Of course, remember, I've already mentioned the place of opening up to people. I opened up to friends that kept monitoring me. And whether I like it or not, I must be in the library because they will check on me. Favor, why are you not this and that? Okay. So that was one of the breakthroughs, how it started. And then when I saw the hand of God in my result, that finally I am actually doing well. My determination, I was always reading. So it's not just about sitting and sleeping. I read and all, back to the grace of God. So God, there is one word that kept me going, that made me to overcome this inferiority complex. And you know what that is? The end will justify the means. The means of my education is distance learning, Abi, but the end result, my first class, will justify it. So what I usually tell myself, all these people that call themselves regular students, the devil is using to intimidate me. When you stand, unfortunately, there is no social work regular in UI. Because I was like, if there is regular student in social work in UI, let them come and stand. Let me, that is DLC, come and stand. Let us go for a competition. Let me see if they will win me. Come now, let's stand. God just told me that, see, my daughter, the end will justify the means. This means DLC. It is your end result. Because when I stand now, if I didn't tell you I went to DLC, will you know? You won't know. So I told me it is the end. What people know is that you finished with first class. And I finished as the best graduating student in my class. Yes, I did. Okay, of course, I didn't end up graduating with perfect distinction, perfect CGPA. It pained me. But then I graduated with high, very high. And as a matter of fact, I was the only one in my set that finished with first class. Yes, and automatically, I was the best graduating student in my class. So that was it. So just take this. I don't know what your own story is. The end. Just know that the end result will justify the means. All these trials, all these failures you are experiencing, the end will justify it. I just told myself, regular student, come and stand, I will stand. And that was the determination that helped me to get my first class. Because when God told me that the end will justify the means, it made me to make sure that that end will be glorious. So I was always reading. studying. If you know me, people call me bookworm. I have a very good friend, Jago. Shout out to you, Jago. He calls me bookworm. Whenever he sees me, start doing some funny things and all of that. Okay, so I will always read. I'm in the library. I'm always reading because the end will justify the means. So I'm telling you this: if you are watching me, don't give up. I have failed countless number of times, but the end justified all of that. Please tell me, who NYSC help? As you see me so, I didn't go for NYSC. It didn't stop me from pursuing my master's abroad because I don't have an exemption certificate even now. I don't even have anything. Nothing. NYSC. Who he help? Who NYSC help? One of the reasons why I wanted by fire by force to become a regular student because I want to go for NYSC. Don't get me wrong, I missed the experience. But then, who he help? So it doesn't matter. So if you feel that you've tried writing JAM, let me advertise DLC or open universities and all for you. Guys, don't die writing JAM. Don't go and find a way. The end result will justify all that. When I applied to study different universities, big universities like University of Sheffield gave me admission. None of them questioned that, oh, because you did distance learning, we can't give you admission. UK Embassy did not say because you did distance learning, we are not giving you study visa. I have moved on as far as I'm concerned, and I'm here, a master's degree holder in the UK with all of this that happened. So please, your failure, your last failure is not the end of life. Keep pushing. Keep pushing until you get where you want. One thing that is important is the God factor. Once God is with you, you can do anything. Be determined. Tell yourself that nobody that is doing this is better than you. That's what I told myself. All these regular students, they are not in any way better than me. They are human beings, I am human beings. They are a student, I'm a student. Whether they are regular and I'm irregular, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when we stand, what do we show? I'm a first class graduate. What about you? Do you get it, guys? So this is actually one other battle I fought in my academic journey. Honestly, it wasn't easy. Thank God I didn't go crazy because the condemnation and all of that was so much that my head, I feel sometimes that my head will burst. I will scream. I say, what is all this? And I'll go back every day crying. And at the end of the day, see me. I am the girl who the Lord has helped. Guys, God can be trusted. Trust God in the process. Let him hold your hands and make sure that his hand, like, don't let go of it. Let him keep leading you. And at the end of the day, you will boldly share your story the same way. I can't believe I'm telling people I did distance learning. Something I was so shy and intimidated to even open up and tell people that I'm a DLC student. Yes, I'm telling it now to the whole world that I did DLC, distance learning. Yes, I did online distance learning education. That was how I gained my first degree. It didn't stop me from moving on. So don't let any failure or anything intimidate you. Might not be academic, but there might be something you are doing that feels inferior to something else. It's a lie, yo. It's a lie. What you call what you do is what it is. For me, DLC is my own regular. Those others, that's their own regular. Okay? And I want to believe that you've been inspired by this story. Have you? And I hope you share this video with as many people that you think that might need it. I'm so sorry that it's this long, but I want to believe that you've learned one or two lessons from it. Let's continue this video in the comment section. Leave comments, ask me your questions. What are your questions? Is there another thing you want me to talk about when it comes to academic success? My story has not ended though, but we'll continue subsequently. Please don't forget to like this video. Please, I beg you in the name of God, like this video. Please give it thumbs up. Also share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I'll be seeing you in my next one. Until then, stay blessed, remain intentional, and take care of yourself. Bye.